if you've ever caught yourself right before a negative spiral, or if you've ever caught yourself right before the beginning of a bad habit or a negative habit that you know you struggle with, that's actually a very powerful moment, because what's happening is there's a shift in your thought process, there's a shift in the way that your subconscious works, and because of that shift and because of that change, you're actually able to recognize a negative pattern that you don't like, maybe something you don't like about yourself, maybe you have some bad habits that you revert back to from time to time. If you're able to catch that moment right before and realize, hey, I'm doing it again, hey, I'm doing that thing again, that's actually a really good sign that there has been a change and there has been a shift in your energies, and that you are ready to let go of this negative pattern and this negative habit. And it means you're ready to adopt new positive habits and patterns in your thought process, which means that you are ready to receive your manifestation. You're ready to actually get whatever it is that you are chasing after, to get whatever it is that you are trying to manifest. Maybe you're trying to lose weight and you have a pattern, a habit of negative self-talk when it comes to food, or when it comes to your body or your fitness, your workout routine. Maybe you have a habit of looking in the mirror and looking for things to criticize or things that you don't currently like. Maybe you have a habit of looking at your current reality, your current life, and kind of fixating on the thing that you want to fix. Maybe you're like, I want a better job, or maybe you're like, I want more money, or maybe you feel like you need to be in a relationship. Whatever the thing that you're trying to manifest is, if there's a fixation on the negative, if there's a need to fix or correct certain things in your life, what's going to happen is you're going to constantly be thinking about it, and that can lead to the negative habit and the negative patterns of negative self-talk, and just generally being dissatisfied with the current situation no matter what it is. Because then that becomes a pattern. Say you get the job, say you get the partner, the certain amount of money that you want, it doesn't go away, because that's a pattern and that's a habit in your thought process, and it just continues. It's gonna sort of revive itself by basically finding something else to be dissatisfied about and to fixate on. This can also happen if you have a tendency to be stressed out about things, or you have a tendency to be anxious about things from your past or from the future. Again, it's a habit and it's a pattern. And maybe you're nervous about a meeting, or you're nervous about a presentation. Once the meeting passes, that nervousness and that stress doesn't go away. It just finds something else to fixate on. It almost becomes this like living thing, your thought process and your thought patterns, because habits want to keep themselves alive. It's never going to be enough to just get the things that you're trying to go after right now. There will always be something else that you can fixate on, something else that you can criticize. And really the only way to get rid of that is to address the actual patterns and the actual habits, and that does start with you. And a lot of this has to do with your ego. Maybe you think of yourself as a certain kind of person, and you're like, well, this is who I am, and this is what I need in order to maintain that self-identity. Maybe you need a certain job, maybe you need a certain amount of money, a certain kind of partner or lifestyle in order to maintain this identity that your ego has basically created. But manifesting from that place, manifesting from the ego, is one of the most difficult things to do. It usually is not in alignment with who you are at your core. Like if you're just manifesting things to maintain a certain identity that you've created in your mind, that's not really being true to what you want. And a lot of the times when you get those things that you're trying to manifest from your ego, you're gonna find yourself feeling very disillusioned almost when you get those things, because they were never truly aligned with who you are and what you really want, right? Maybe you want a huge promotion, maybe you want the big fancy title at work. Okay, you get it, and then you realize it's like this huge stressful thing, and the lifestyle that you're living is not really what you wanted, versus someone else who maybe moved to another country and is working like a few days a week and is actually enjoying life and having the time of their life. Sometimes we mistakenly think that the things that we want are always going to be fully aligned with our values, but what you want is heavily influenced by society, by your parents, by your friends. So sometimes you might find yourself almost like regurgitating other people's dreams, other people's wants, and not your own wants and desires. So one of the best things you can do for yourselves is sit down and journal, or just really think about what is it that you truly want, what actually aligns with your soul, and what would actually make you feel happy and feel fulfilled and satisfied deep down. And then from there, think about the thought patterns and the habits that you have that surround it. Okay, maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to get in shape, maybe you want to get a promotion. Okay, what are your thought patterns surrounding those things? Are you constantly looking in the mirror and finding things to criticize about your body? Or are you constantly thinking about your current job situation or your finances, or manifesting a partner, but you're very negative about it? You're like, well, I don't know if I deserve it. I don't know if I deserve these things. I don't know if I'm good enough to get that job. I don't know if I'm good enough to attract the partner that I want. I don't know if I'm good enough to have the certain amount of money. Whatever your thought patterns are around this subject is usually a really good mirror of your current reality, because whatever thought patterns you have around those subjects is what basically created your current reality. So to change that, you really have to change that pattern, which is very simple to say, but in reality and in practice, it's actually a huge task. You're really changing the core of your beliefs and the core of your thought processes. It's not as simple as it might sound, but it is a practice. It's something that you can definitely work on. So personally, I had been working on my positive self-talk and working on sort of reversing and getting rid of the habit of negative self-talk and criticism and adopting new beliefs. And the other day I was just thinking about the weekend coming up. I was having lunch with my coworkers and I could feel myself sort of starting to spiral and start to go down this like obsessive and just dark negative space when it came to health and fitness. And I had this realization and this like aha moment where I was like, wait, I'm doing it again. I'm falling and slipping back into old negative habits and patterns that I know I'm trying to actively get rid of and actively change. And having those moments where you catch yourself is going to be very important and very helpful when it comes to adopting new belief habits and new patterns, because when you are able to catch yourself, you can take a step back and then just rearrange the thoughts and take yourself down a different path. And this is going to be a lot easier to do, to have these moments when you actually sit down and understand what the habits that you're trying to get rid of are and start to practice the new habits. So if you have negative self-talk around your body image or your job, whatever you're trying to manifest, once you've analyzed and sort of accepted that, then think about what positive thought patterns and habits you want to adopt surrounding it. Maybe you would tell yourself, no, I am good enough. I am very qualified for the job. I am a very loving person and I deserve a lot of love in my life. You start to say these things to yourself, and at first it's gonna feel weird and awkward, but the more you do it, the more powerful it becomes, because habits and patterns are not as easy to form overnight, but if you just keep up the practice with repetition and time, it will become more second nature and it will become a lot more powerful. And when you shape your mind in this way, you're gonna start seeing a lot of positive changes come into your life, partly because when you start to shape your mind in this new positive way, you're gonna start seeing new possibilities that you didn't really see before. You'll start to see new opportunities, things come in, things come to you, and it almost feels like you've transformed yourself into this lucky person who just attracts opportunities and attracts things to you. But really it's a shift in your mindset, and it's gonna allow you to be able to see the things that you couldn't see before. Okay, that's it for today's little video. I hope that you found value in this. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with someone who might also find it to be impactful, and I will see you next time. Bye!